Now, you went on a course a week or two ago,
Yes.
and you came back quite excited about the course as a whole because you're so intellectually curious.
Thank
There
you.
was a particular concept which you talked about, TCF.
That's right.
No, TFC.
TCF, treating customers
Treating
fairly.
customers fairly.
Right.
Now, in South Africa, every concept has to be given a 3-letter abbreviation.
Otherwise, it doesn't exist.
But you wanted to follow up on this.
That's right. I mean, this is something that's going to be having a huge impact on the financial services industry and insurance industry. And to talk more about that, about what is TCF, we have Lizette Erasmus. Now, he's the head of insurance services at Integrisure. She joins us for more on this discussion. Lizette, thank you so much. I'm very excited to have you here. Perhaps let's go back to basics. TCF, what exactly does that mean?
It means treating customers fairly. It was initiated by the Financial Services Board. Now, this is not something new. You know, the first papers for comments were already released back in March 2010. So it's been coming for a very long time. Now, for companies like ourselves, which we feel that our company is client-centric, you operate with integrity around treating your customers, it's not something new or it's actually just an extension of what we've already been doing all the years. But I think it is necessary to document this. It's an outcomes-based approach in terms of regulatory and supervisory, ensuring that clients who purchase financial service products are actually being treated fairly, you know, and this is from basically the cradle to the grave of the product. In other words, from the time that the product is designed to up to the point where you actually then make the decision to cancel your policy.
If we look at bringing this in, it must have been in response to certain aspects of the way people are being treated that are not fair. So maybe the company doesn't realize it, but the way it's behaving is not fair. Give me an example of what this policy is meant to address. What kind of behavior is it aiming to change?
You know, the FAIRS Act and the Short-Term Insurance Act is all regulatory based. This is a morally based approach. It's an outcomes-based approach. I mean, with other words, if I would then sell a product to you, for instance, and
this is insurance specifically.
Short-term insurance specifically now, and this product was designed specifically for persons who would be partaking in 4x4 activities and going on courses, but you only have a sedan vehicle. And I convince you to purchase this product and to pay for certain product features which is irrelevant to you. That would not be fair to you.
Is that the sort of thing that was happening?
I'm sure that's why this was done. And you know, enabling clients to be treated fairly in terms of what communication they receive, what information, are your individual circumstances being taken into consideration? In other words, what is your need? What is your product need, your cover need? What is your financial situation? Can you actually afford the product? You know, and those are the things that I think in the past were not always addressed by means of the regulatory approach, but this is really a moral based. How do I treat my customer? And you know, helping him to make the correct financial decision for himself or herself.
This sounds fantastic, but the implementation of treating customers fairly.
And how do you measure it?
Yeah, how do you measure what's fair?
It's actually wonderful. It can be measured, and we've partook in the baseline studies, and the results were already published in December 2013. And they take into consideration things like your complaints register. How is your complaints process made available to the client? Is it transparent? What does your complaints entail? Your repudiation ratio in terms of claims that are not paid, what do they look like? What is your attrition rate? What is the reason for clients for leaving your organization? And those are actually things that are measurable in terms of reporting. If you by then, they can say, but clients are leaving due to their needs not being met. That's the majority of your cancellation reason. Or that they feel that they were unfairly treated at time of a claim. That is a clear indication. Or a high attrition rate. You know, you're unable to retain clients, or that the product that you're selling to a specific target is not selling. Why? Is it because you're not targeting it at the right target market?
Are there consequences though? And one thinks of these calls one gets, you know, you're walking in the street and the phone rings, have you got a minute, someone wants to sell you something, and you say no. It's a thankless task, sitting on the phone trying to sell people insurance. But they're under pressure to meet targets. Now they're under more pressure. They've got to take more care about selling that target and perhaps forego commission, whereas before they wouldn't.
You know, they used to say all roads lead to Rome. And any company who has a client-centric approach, it would come naturally because, you know, and TCF actually forms part of the key performance areas of certain of the areas within the organization, making sure that you rather maybe not sell that specific product to that client, but maybe something else, or in a different manner that may need, you know, fulfill his needs. So it's basically making it the core of your company, and that every decision that you make at director, exco level, management level, that if you make a decision surrounding your organization, how does it affect your client? Is that effect that it's going to have on your client, is it fair towards the client? If you change a client's process, how's it going to affect the client? Is it fair? And that's the question you should keep on asking yourself with every interaction that you have with the consumer.
Well, let's hope they do. Thanks to Lizette Erasmus. She's Head of Insurance Services at Integrisure.